on to another Black Lightning recap, Amped Up. Tonight's episode was Original Sin. I think this was going to be pretty quick. So let's get into Lala. Let's get into Lala. Okay.
First of all, I want to comment on the fact that this man still walking around in a Shah suit.
For Lord.
I like the way he moved. I like the way it feels on my body.
It is 1999 in Lala's world, okay? That was the best time of that man's life.
That man said he gonna be 2000 late forever.
And he's still doing this shit. He's still walking around like this.
I kind of missed it though. I missed it.
Yeah.
like he might be on coke, but you don't know.
So I'm gonna say this. Him coming back kind of came out of nowhere. Let's call it what it was. It was padding.
It was padding.
It was decent padding, but it was padding.
It was padding.
Like this episode was a little lackluster for me.
Yeah. Ironically, what bogged down the Lala bit was LaWanda now, which is kind of fucked up because LaWanda had some of the funniest moments in there, but at the same time, it was just too much, especially for what they were trying to do.
And to kind of kick it off, I kind of knew that Earl was the voice that was talking to him, and that he'd show up eventually. I was like, this was so, I could see it coming from a mile away.
But what was weird to me is why didn't Earl appear? Remember at the end when he was talking to everybody, why didn't Earl appear?
Because his tattoos pretty much, they got him to land some kind of message. Because like even Wanda hung to him for a minute before she glued herself on.
But also Earl was guiding him the entire time. He just couldn't put the fragments together.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna tell you why this was. I don't want to use the word problematic, but I'm going to use it anyway. So at the beginning of the episode, he barges in and we get this whole rigmarole and shit like that about he couldn't remember and all of this and whatnot. But the ending of the episode where they show 2 months prior where he's brought back to life in the lab, which, by the way, super jarring, didn't need to see that. It was just fucking weird. And it seemed like the dude he was talking to, it seemed like he was well within his capacity and knew everything that was going on and whatnot. It was totally different from what was going on in the school.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he was addled and was out of his brain. But when he came back to life, he was clear. He was clear-headed. My thing about it is because what this inadvertently does, this sets up yet another plot line that has more mysteries to it, and we still got a dangling plot line that they just dropped from before the jump, which is the teleporter. Yeah, and my thing is like, if you had just showed Lala come back to life and be haunted by what was the boy's name? Earl, then that would have been one thing. But now we got to figure out who the motherfucker from the Temptations is. And how he's bringing folks back to life.
Well, that was part of Tobias' program, but I don't. But
it was so vague. Like,
it didn't even
let me ask you something. How do you know that?
Because they said in a recap that Tobias spent money for this reanimation program.
Yeah, but why would
I'm thinking this dude is taking it upon himself to bring Lala back.
But why? There's nothing special about Lala.
Exactly, like
his power isn't even
beneficial. It's not even it's not even his power. Like his power is something. It's almost like this scientist dude. Which, if this is the case, why not establish this scientist earlier? But it's almost like this scientist particularly took an interest in Lala and was like, I want to use you as my vessel. But Lala, compared to the comics, Lala has a shit power.
But do you see how? But the scientist. Okay, I'm sorry to jump ahead, but the scientists do in that entire thing. Do you see how jarring and just unsettling that is?
And here's the thing about that. The visuals were cool. If this was put in a proper context, that would have been dope. Yeah. Because I got super intrigued
It's like a Dr. Frankenstein.
Exactly.
Like the aesthetics of that entire scene didn't match anything that's ever been on Black Lightning ever.
Yeah. It felt like another show.
But
exactly.
Speaking of this, which is in the beginning scene, why the hell did Jefferson just let him shoot him like that?
I told you it was off camera. It was off guard. It was in the school. There were cameras everywhere.
I get cameras were there. But you could have put a miniature force field up on your clothes and just took the hit like, oh God.
You want to be that precise?
If a person has a gun on him and he's talking to himself, yes.
All in all, so we're a little, Lala's back, and
I mean, it sets up another storyline, but is it another storyline that we really need?
And do we need to see more velour suits?
That's just one more person that wants to kill Tobias, and it's like,
like, what can you bring to the team?
Are you setting up a team?
Exactly. Are you gonna be on the outside?
Yeah.
I don't remember Tattooed Man being on the outside.
Is this a new clothing line coming out?
No fashion is cyclical. He'll be in fashion in another 2 years.
It's true. All right, so we're gonna jump off of Lala, see where that goes in the future if they decide to do more with it. Jen, she's getting a costume. Yeah, sure, cute plot line. She wants it to be fashionable, but safety first. She learns a lesson at the end when she almost catches on fire. All right.
Waste of Gambi, I'm sorry.
Moving on. All right. I mean, good show by Gambi. I mean, I finally got him doing his Ed the Mole.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, I want to see Gambi shooting people and shooting people.
The part that tripped me off is when this hussy was trying to take a selfie with the suit.
Yeah, that was really stupid.
Why would you are secret identity.
And on top of that, who do we all know she gonna show? That friend that left her to get her ass beat.
That chicken head at her school.
Like that is not your friend. Stop fucking with that girl.
She'll learn soon enough. All right. Also, miniature Lynn at work. She's having work issues because I know you done fucked up. Is breathing down her neck. And for some reason, only now she realized that she's helping these children to become weapons.
See, here's my thing. Lynn, keep forgetting who signed her checks. All right, she forgetting who the boss is.
Like it's the ASA, the same people that put Jefferson in the situation he's in.
No, it's the same people who brought crack to the hood. To create mutant babies.
Same people Gambi used to work for, who's a hitter, by the way.
And you think they care about bedside manner?
And the same people that brought that huffy up in that lab with you and you killed all them kids.
Here's the thing. I'm going to side with Lynn a little bit, but it's for a different reason. She's right.
Of course
Here's the thing. He needs her to treat them like human beings so that she can bring out their potential. If you try to force them like that, then you're not going to get what you want. And I wish she would have hit on that, but she too busy trying to be flowery and shit like that. It's like, no, if you want these people to work with you, you need a specific touch. And that shit you did right there, you were trying to prove a point, but the only point you proved was, Bill Duke, was that you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
I mean, Bill Duke proved the point because when he pushed that girl, it did bring out more of her strength. Yeah, it almost killed her, but he don't care about that. He pushed her to a level she wasn't ready for. And he was like, either you adapt or you're going to die.
And she'll remember that.
He don't care.
She'll remember that and turn on him.
This dude pulled up at a Kroger with a hand cannon. He don't care.
And he's fucking with metahumans now. It's one thing with them fucking, what they call, I want to say Iranians, but that's not it.
The
Markovians. Fuck the Markovians. It's one thing about that. This is a superpowered person. And let's get it out of the way. She controls wind. Do you really want to fuck up your most powerful metahuman that you have available?
It looks like that's the only one they got. I ain't think of pulling out another one.
They only show her and with no clothes on.
Sidebar, Tobias has the same methodology and it works for him.
The difference to an extent, but the difference between Tobias and Bill Duke is Tobias can control them with those collars or whatever. They don't have that kind of technology.
We don't know. Because they invented the technology for them.
No, the doctor lady did.
The beam lady?
Dr. J did. They don't have access to her yet.
All right, last thing we got to talk about. Anissa is going to find her boo by any means necessary. Even if she has to fight the Hyuga clan from Naruto, even if she has to fight Uncle from Jackie Chan Adventures, even if she has to fight Shang Tsung from the Mortal Kombat series.
I'm pretty sure most of that is by the way racist.
But I feel like she fought all three of them. Tell me she didn't.
I mean, she did be a real life fatality in the bedroom, in the dining room. Literally, every time she asked the question, the answer was karate. Literally, where is Grape Choi? Where is Grape Choi? They try to get 2 points.
I'm gonna ask you one more time. Where is Grace Choi?
I was like, bitch, stop talking. Leave.
Here's my biggest issue with Anissa. So she has a history of dating chicks and leaving them in the dirt. And finally, when somebody does it to her, she has to become, SVU detective and track them down. I'm like, just take the hint. Like, why is it that this is... I guess she's in love and everything, but all the women she was messing with in the past were feeling the same way.
Well, let's not forget, this entire season we was talking about Grace gonna run up on that one meta that's gonna give her the business. Anissa gonna run up on that one meta that's gonna give her the business.
Turns out it was Grace Choi.
Yeah. Not in the way that we was thinking about, but I mean, there it is. Now she gotta learn the lesson. The dirt you do come back on you.
Yeah.
Like, I hate to be like that, but she was fucking around on Grace, stealing the money and shit like that from the thugs and shit like that. Like, karma is a bitch.
Cheating on those other women too.
And the most important part, which is something unfortunately we don't get in a lot of shows these days, is character development. We are watching this character grow up and mature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One person I do want to bring up, and I was hoping they weren't going to do this, but the guy who blew up in an explosion.
Yeah. So yeah, Todd's dead.
Mm-hmm. And there's so many reasons why that messes up the series.
They set him up so well.
But not just that. But if you work for Tobias Wells now, there's no incentive to being good at your job or loyal. What did Todd do that was wrong in any capacity?
He didn't do anything.
He was the perfect foot soldier. And you telling me you killed him over nothing?
He literally was the exact opposite of Khalil.
You killed Khalil because he was weak and wouldn't step up.
Exactly.
Todd not only did what you told him, but he actually went a step above.
So I'm going to take it this way. If the actor had to leave the show, I guess they had to make it make sense where he couldn't come back. And Tobias' character wouldn't just let a person just walk away.
Yeah, but still,
it almost kind of like forced their hand. If we don't know everything in the background.
But it hurts. But you end up hurting a main character.
It hurts the writing.
Exactly.
Because now not only do we see Tobias as honestly rather stupid that you throw away one of your best assets. But we've seen the same thing going on with the ASA folks and how they can only keep track of certain people.
But not just that. Everything. Look at what time we're in. Everything is computerized. Yes. So who are you going to go to now if a collar breaks or you need access to this or you need to gain control of something? You got to find somebody new now.
But in addition to that, now you have to question. What do you have to do for Tobias to keep you in your graces? Because you just said Tobias wouldn't let anyone just go off and leave like that. Cutter was off panel until we met her for the longest time.
Yep.
She got to dip. Do you gotta fuck him? Because the reason why I asked that is because the robot girl stayed around and she did everything he wanted her to do. And then Todd does everything you want him to do and you kill him.
And then Khalil half-ass everything you want to do.
And you keep him around until you realize, okay, he is not going to get right.
Yeah. So, like I said, I think that him leaving the show forced their hand. But I guess they could have said that I guess you're saying he could have just let him on his way.
Yeah.
But that's why they make people sign these things called contracts. So you know how long they're going to be around for the show.
I suppose.
I'm sorry, I just heard the writing.
Yeah, it does. Very much so.
And if that was planned, if it was supposed to be a limited run, like they wrote it, that makes the writing even worse because you didn't prepare for it.
And now we're invested in this character who just got rolled off screen pretty much.
Exactly. And I wonder because like you didn't even set it up as in like, well, maybe this is something that'll give light skin. I forgot his name.
Detective
Henderson. Maybe it's something that'll give Henderson something to do. But Henderson literally investigated it for exactly 2 minutes.
And then hung his coat up.
Exactly. Like he was so done with it. He was like, well, I'm done with this shit for the day. Okay, maybe I'll call Gambi on the phone and see what he's doing. So the only thing I'll say, I don't know if they'll do it. But if they're watching the show and they're thinking about doing it, the only thing I'll say that can probably redeem this is you introduce a guy that can apparently resurrect the dead, bring him back to life,
or to change his face or something,
and make him another person in that group of people that's going to kill Tobias. And I just came up with that off the top of my head.
All right, so all in all, this episode was a lot of padding, not really a lot going on. Still getting more about character motivations, but not really the plot moving forward that much. So we'll see where this goes for the next episode. So join us back next week as we review another episode of Black Lightning. Check out some more of our content. We review the Arrow and also the Flash. If we really want to consider the Flash a show.
It's not.
It's a cartoon.
People really say the Flash is one of the best like comic book superhero shows out there.
People smoke crack.
You know opioid epidemic is at the highest.
So are you saying there's a correlation?
There's a correlation.
There's a correlation. All right.
I mean, there's also meth too.
Yeah, but
we in Atlanta, that shit's rampant.
Opioids are taking over though. All right, so join us back next week. Peace.
Yeah.